Greetings, everyone. This is Koku from the Bitter Medicine Podcast, inviting you to tune in to the Bitter Medicine Podcast on KWAZ Radio.
Peace, family. This is Oni, inviting you to listen to the pro-black perspective, where black problems are addressed with black solutions.
Greetings, fam. Tune in to The Learning Curve with me, the revolutionary matron on KWAZ Radio.
All right, welcome to episode 38 of the Harsh Reality Podcast. I'm your host, D-Web, and I'm joined by my esteemed co-hosts. First off, we got the former director of media relations, the former fact checker, and now the resident co-host. She bullied her way onto the show. Rye, what's going on with
you? Hey, what's up, y'all?
Yeah, you got tired of getting them fines, huh? It's nice to see you. I thought you got fired. And joining us as always, she's been pretty consistent lately. You know, I ain't gonna get on her. She's a little bit in the doghouse for her Putin comments a couple weeks ago, but we're gonna let that go. We got Gangsta Blue in the flesh, the one and only Hotep Lero. What's going on with your Hotep?
Hey, what's going on, family? Happy to be here. You already know.
We're happy to have you in the building. Unfortunately, L will be out this Sunday, but hopefully he'll be back next week. I gotta make sure that brother didn't get hit in the head with a frying pan. But disclaimer, by no means do we claim to be experts, just everyday people with a small platform here. Add our 2 cents to the various subjects we plan on discussing today. Also, make sure y'all go follow us if y'all haven't already at the Harsh Reality Podcast on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Before we begin, I would be amiss if I didn't shout out our KWAZ radio family. They're already out there in the comment section, a lot of them, so appreciate y'all for showing up. Make sure y'all subscribe to the Bitter Medicine Podcast hosted by Goku, the mothership. The Pro-Black Perspective hosted by Oni. He had a podcast earlier today. I got to check that brother out on the playback. The Learning Curve hosted by Revolutionary Matron, reading all those books, getting the big brain big. We got Forecast, dropping knowledge, brother Bakari, Tanzan. So make sure y'all go to the KWAZ YouTube page, follow all those great shows. And lastly, the podcast on Patreon. I don't know why I read this every week because y'all don't give us no money, but we need some money to keep things going on around here in the lights. So make sure y'all donate if y'all can. And if not, just make sure y'all share. We're trying to grow this platform. And if you need to get at us, drop an email at theharshrealitypod@gmail.com. Now that I'm done with all that ranting, let's get into the topic, shall we, ladies? First thing I got on the docket here, I probably should have moved this down, but we got Miss Lupita, a Black Panther fame, named as the global ambassador of De Beers. Who would have seen that coming? Which anybody knows a diamond. I think they got their big fame, a big claim to fame by being pushers of diamonds, particularly the blood diamonds. So as we see, we had different social media reactions. Is this a win for Africans, for Black people, or this is kind of a sellout move? So I'm gonna throw this to Lero while I bring up the prompt here. What do you think about Miss Lupita and her move and going on?
I can't say disappointing because it's like, what do you expect from these celebrities and whatnot? But it's kind of sick how, and not just with Lupita, but, in a lot of these like brand endorsements, especially like that Black women kind of endorses. It's always about, this is woman empowerment. I don't know how De Beers, a mining company, like an apartheid mining company, diamond mining company, is going to empower women, or has ever been empowering to women. Like, I think in the article it says like they're like donating, she's trying to support like more young girls in STEM, and just maybe like donating money to like female entrepreneurs, and that like one thing that got me too, just this vague company. The company is going to invest $30 million in Africa. Like that was literally what it was. 30 million Africa. In what? Where? Doing what? You know what I mean? Like just
Word.
just complete like nonsense. And this whole like girl boss is kind of like amping up. Like it's just it's sick. It's like Black Girl Magic Colonial Edition. Like I'm not sure like what's going on, and it's unfortunate that we don't like pay attention to like the history of these companies. And you would think someone like Lupita would know better. I mean, isn't her father like a politician or something?
Yeah, and that might be part of the problem.
Okay, look, it might be part of the problem. People said like, I don't want to say her dad was a corrupt politician, but look, these type of moves, I don't know what to say. You know, he might be. We never know. But just still, like, it's unfortunate because like there's so many other ways that Black women could be empowered. We can be empowered in a not even necessarily has to be like so revolution or political, but definitely not attaching ourselves to colonial entities for whether it be for the bag, for the money, for anything. I mean, just kind of I'm just overall kind of disgusted and like done with the whole like girl boss, Black girl magic, the Black feminist talking points. It's never like it's not advancing us um, uh, as women, as a collective, to a revolutionary purpose, to a self-determined purpose. He just seems to kind of justify these colonial histories because that's what it looks like to me when you have a company with that history of apartheid, of exploitation of African resources, of African people, because those are Africans are still the ones that are in those mines. A lot of times children too. It's just very like it's just disgusting almost to me. And I think at some point some people should know better. At some point it's not just ignorance. People are consciously making these decisions for whatever reason it may be, but not cool at all. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what people expect anyway to be out of Marvel, which is part of that Disney program. We already know who they produce. You can't even get on, you know what I mean, if you don't kiss the ring over there. And then if you know anything about the history of De Beers, if you know anything about the history of their founder, one and only Mr. Cecil Rhodes, then you can see like I don't care what their new millennial stance is. You can't ignore history. And let's bring up Mr. Cecil Rhodes. Let's read a quote from the founder of De Beers. As he speaks about the Anglo-Saxon race, as we see here, was destined to greatness, and what he described as a draft of some of his ideas written in 1877 while a student at Oxford. Rhodes said of the English, "I contended we are the first race in the world, and that the more the world we inhabit, the better it is for the human race. I contend that every race acre added to our territory means the birth of more of the English race, who otherwise would not be brought into existence." All right.
Cecil Rhodes also said he would annex the planets if he could. Literally, he's quoted saying this. Like, come on.
Yeah, look at this. Who would not give the black man a vote? If the whites maintain this position as the supreme race, the day may come when we shall be thankful that we one day have the natives with us in their proper position. Like, if you read some of this man's quotes, right, and you'll be like, woo. All right, and this is who founded this company, built off blood diamonds. You know what I'm saying? Go check that Kanye track out. Diamonds Are Forever, bro. Like, this is what these people got rich on, is literally the pain and suffering of others, right? And I don't care how fancy you build a house. If it's built on fucking sand, it's a piece of shit house. De Beers is built on a piece of sand foundation, right? That foundation sucks. It's built off suffering. It's built off apartheid. It's built off, just human general miserableness. So to sit here and say that, oh, we're gonna tap this lady to be the global ambassador, whatever the hell that means. I think it just means an overpaid representative. It's fucking nuts to me. Rye, what you got on this nonsense?
I'm gonna go totally left with this and play devil's advocate.
Oh,
No, for real, because De Beers' mission is going to be completed, regardless of whose face they have at the forefront. But if her plans are genuine and she truly is taking this money and distributing it amongst her tribe, Black women, Africa and whatnot, then it's given like Robin Hood like qualities. Like y'all are gonna do what y'all are gonna do regardless, but I'm gonna put my face on here. I'm gonna get these coins, and I'm gonna take it back to my people. So while what they're doing is despicable, I mean they were gonna do that regardless. So why not get something out of it?
You want to do it, Leroy, or should I do it?
You can go ahead, family.
So
Well, what I'm
first
gonna
and
need y'all to
foremost,
not do is gang up on me.
nah, we don't gang up. You family, bro. But this is this bad culture, man. I understand what you're saying, but it's not a Robin Hood situation because Robin Hood took. They are giving pennies. You know what I'm saying? So I got to push back on that point a little bit. They're losing you to hawk their product, right? And throwing a little bit of change, which they always do. And it's the easiest thing to do, honestly. They're not sitting here and vetting and make sure that money gets spent into the right direction or whatever. They're going to give $10 million to the government of Nigeria or whatever, you know what I mean? And then they're going to embezzle about 8,000 of it, maybe take 2,000 of it, buy some computers, some Dells, and then call it STEM. You know, these are not serious people, you know, and I understand that, you know, wealth is a big thing. Wealth is life-changing, right? Wealth, but also I would say representation also is life-changing. Standing on your square, having the backbone, having the gumption to say, yo, you ain't finna use me as your pawn. I think that would have been more impactful actually to Black people to have them, you know, oh, the beer's trying to tap you. Nah, the beer's kiss my ass today. They issue a formal apology, right these wrongs that they did in this area, right? Until they do that formally, I'm not doing anything. You know, they got Kanye on apology tour right now. You know what I'm saying? So why can't we do the same thing? You want me to do this? You go on apology tour then. I want you to kiss some ass, kiss some Black ass all day. You know, but we don't get that. You know, we get people throwing their practice jerseys in the middle of the basketball courts. We get people complaining and bitching, and we don't really get none with kiss the ring type of stuff that, you know, these other people demand of us. That's the only thing I would have, you know, on counter to that. You got anything, Lyra?
I mean, my thing is like you said, if there's no apology from it, and even on Lupita's side, you know, because if you look at her comments, she's like, you know, we're trying to continue the good work that De Beers has done. So you yourself aren't even going to acknowledge the colonial history of the company and the exploitation, like, you know what I mean? And it's just, it's so just. I don't even have the words for it. It's unfortunate, you know, especially as, you know, one that's coming in talking about empowering, you know, African women and African girls, like by denying colonial history. You know, I mean, we already have like struggled so much with, you know, our history and not being told the truth and being told so many different versions of whatnot. She, you know, she could have at least at minimum acknowledged that, you know, turning a new leaf, something, but not just to straight up endorse. Basically, this is what it seemed like to me, and that's why it's just big disgusting to me. I don't know.
Allow Miss Rye the chance to retort. You got anything?
No.
Yo, we needed the smoke. See, this is what L need to come in with the smoke, you know. But I feel you. And like I said, I don't necessarily disagree with you. I do think that wealth is a big thing, right? However, you know, I think how you get your bag is just as important, and where your bag coming from is just as important as what you're doing or where you directing it to and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like,
I hear you and I agree. However, I feel like if we're not even at the table, how are we going to put our input into the narrative if we're not even seated at the table? So I just see it as her pulling up a seat to the table.
I think we need to flip the damn table over. If you ask me, flip that motherfucker.
Burn the damn table.
All the Monopoly pieces on the floor. I'm not playing your game, but you know, we all got different perspectives. Like you said, we gotta start somewhere, right? So that's all I got on Miss Lupita. Any of y'all ladies got anything in parting for Miss Black Panther forever, Wakanda forever?
No,
I'm good on it.
All right, the next topic we got Mr. Kyrie. The media is at his neck again. Coming off the backs of this Kanye cancel campaign we got. honestly, and I'm interested to hear you as Black women's take on this. Is there an outrage against outspoken Black men? And let me pull up the video so we can kind of see what was going on at this interview with Nick Friedel. I'm gonna go off on him too. All right.
This is gonna be a clip. This is gonna be a
rewind this.
Kyrie, while we're on the topic of promotion, why did you decide to promote something that Alex Jones said?
That was a few weeks ago. I do not stand with Alex Jones' position, narrative, court case that he had with Sandy Hook, or any of the kids that felt like they had to relive trauma, or parents that had to relive trauma, or to be dismissive to all the lives that were lost during that tragic event. My post was a post from Alex Jones that he did in the early 90s or late 90s about secret societies in America of occults, and it's true. So I wasn't identifying with anything of being a campaignist for Alex Jones or anything. I was just there to post. And it's funny, and it's actually hilarious, because out of all the things I posted that day, that was the one post that everyone chose to see. It just goes back to the way our world is and works. I'm not here to complain about it. I just exist.
And to follow up on the promotion of the movie and the book.
Can you please stop calling it a promotion? What am I promoting?
Put it out on your platform.
But I'm promoting it? Do you see me in front of the title?
By putting it out there, people are going to say that you are
promoting. Yeah, put it out there just like you put things out there, right?
Yeah, but it's not.
You put things out there for a living, right?
Right, but my stuff is not.
So let's move on.
Let's move on. Anti-Semitic.
Let's move on. Don't dehumanize me up here.
I'm not doing that.
Another human being. I can post whatever I want. So say that and shut it down and move on to the next question.
But Kyrie, you have to understand that I
don't have to understand anything from you.
It's not me.
Nothing.
It's
no people that you're making up, bro. Move on.
But by posting,
move on. Next question.
Anybody
do you guys have any more questions for me?
And they're going to say,
you guys have any more questions? Because this is going to be a clip. This is going to be a clip that he's going to marvel at. Is this any more questions?
But you're not answering the question.
This is another answering your question. Oh my God, let's make another Instagram clip so we could be famous again. Next question.
Kyrie, basketball related.
All right. Nick Friedel. I mean, Kyrie handled it better than I would have, because I'd have went in. And the way he was kind of talking to him too, almost like you addressed a child, right? It's like, Kyrie, you have to understand. Are you promoting these thoughts? You have to realize you know what I mean? And it seems like we seem to always have the same narrative about the outspoken Black. It's like it's a crime as a Black man to have your own opinion about anything, right? And God forbid you don't repeat the same mainstream narrative, or you don't withhold to that narrative. Then they try to crush you, right? Then they try to come out, and then you got these reporters too, man. I'm gonna go in on reporters a little later because I want to hear y'all thoughts. But it's just interesting how they feel as though they're owed an answer or an explanation to something. When the man already explained his thoughts in thought process when he posted it, but you have to understand, Gary, you're hurting a lot of people's feelings. Yeah, you're I mean, it's like shit. But so I'm gonna toss this out to y'all. I want to hear as Black women, kind of not necessarily on the outside looking in, but just as people who advocates of Black men yourselves, but not necessarily being a Black man. Well, how does this clip look to you, and what do you think about outspoken Black men? I'm throw out the rap first. Let's change it up a little bit. What you think?
For starters, it took me a little minute to find the original tweet that he put up, but all he did was literally share the movie off of Prime. That's all he did. He ain't put no context to it or nothing. And it just makes me think of how many things I share on a day-to-day basis, which I may not necessarily agree with the views of the person that I shared it from or anything like that. That's literally all he did. But the bigger question at hand, I absolutely agree that this is an effort at censoring the opinions of Black men and things that go against the general narrative put out there by the media. But I personally just think they're going to forever have their foot on Kyrie's neck because of the vaccine. So, it's just another blurb about Kyrie for this week.
Exactly. We gotta get him. God, he didn't get his jabby jabs. What you think, Lero?
I mean, as far as black men go, black people in general, but it's especially black men, if you're not a liberal shill or just some bug dancing Negro for the GOP, it's like we don't want to hear that. You know what I mean? They're gonna villainize you. They're gonna criminalize you. You know what I mean? It's just all types of pushback that come in, even from our own people. We see, it ain't even just like, oh, white media. We'll get that from our own people as far as the silencing of black men. You see it in the case of Darren Seals. You got all these people coming out now. How about like, oh, black women and queers were the first to call out Black Lives Matter. No, you weren't. You were not, and you didn't say nothing about Darren Seals, who lost his life. You didn't say nothing about the 6 other black men who lost their lives, who happened to be organizing on a different objective. And so it's unfortunate, but I mean, it comes with the territory too, especially, giving Kyrie and his, kind of being outspoken about the vaccine and whatnot. Like, that was a big no. So of course they gonna try to, anything he say after that is just nonsense. And like you said, like he didn't even really like promote it, as they're trying to like make it seem. We just shared something. And, anybody can share what they want to. This whole like censorship and changing people's this just trying to control other people's narratives and perspectives is getting a little weird, and we're seeing it like in different aspects, in individual levels and celebrity life, just in political life. Like it's getting a little out of hand. But yeah, I definitely think black men who come with a different opinion are definitely silenced and whatnot, for sure.
Exactly. And then the thing too, it always kind of weirded me up about this media, right? And I'm gonna pull this up, a bit of medicine. The person asking the question is a hoe. This is Nick Friedel. Nick Friedel is the biggest nut guzzling piece of crap there is out there. This dude was the beat writer for the Bulls for forever, and he just pushed mainstream narrative. Half his articles weren't even about basketball. It was social issues or whatever. You know what I'm saying? He's been one of the biggest critics of these guys out here who actually have talent, right? And it's funny to me as a critic, right? As a commentator, as a sports writer, the biggest thing you did was go get a degree of journalism, right? You can't probably dribble a ball, but your whole career is built off these people, right? It's built off following these athletes and breaking these stories and things like that. However, you have zero to no respect to the point where you think you are old explanations by these people, right? You think you are old answers. You think you are old something and they must answer to you. This is how backwards it's become, rather than kissing the ring, what you're supposed to be doing, because these people built you. You wouldn't have nothing to do. What would you be doing? You know what I'm saying? You be some Starbucks making coffee. You feel me? Like you literally have no talents in the world, but you sitting here questioning this person who actually has some talent, one of the best in the world at his craft, about a post he put up just because you want to go viral, just because you want to appear virtuous or whatever your end goal is. And it's frankly like if the NBA had any kind of integrity, they kick him about the room after the second or third time he tried to interrupt Kyrie, right? This dude worth $200 million. Who are you? You're Nick Friedel. You work for ESPN. You swallow nuts at ESPN, bro. Get the fuck out, right? He should have been kicked out, And if honestly, if we realized our power, and all it would take is 10 stars in the league to be like, you know what, man, this dude talking crazy to Kyrie. This dude's demanding. If Nick Friedel's in the room, we not even gonna answer no questions no more. And that dude will lose his media pass. He probably lose his job, whatever. But people don't have the nuts to stand on anything, right? Especially these athletes, which is sad to me because these are the few people in the world that have the talent to do what they do. But instead, they kind of think they don't even realize their power. They think they have to kiss the ring as well. They're scared to cause any smoke, except for a select few like Kyrie and a couple more dudes. You know what I'm saying? And I may not necessarily agree with everything Kyrie says, but Kyrie is gonna stand on his square. Like unlike a lot of these people, right? So one boy in Golden State, I forgot, but he got like basically pure pressured into getting the jab, and he come out months later like, oh, I regret it and stuff. It's like, bro, you could just not got the joint. You feel me? You could have you're starting two guard in the NBA. It ain't too many people that could take your position, bro. Just don't get it. They're gonna let you play eventually. You know what I'm saying? And I hate to look at entertainers and athletes and stuff as leaders anyway. I don't believe that, but bro, be a man. Get some nuts. Say no. Like, yo, I'm done talking. Let y'all kick this dude out the media room. You know what I'm saying? And until we do that, the outspoken black man will always be, I think, a target. He will always be. It'll be justified, to come at him. They won't do that with any other demographic, bro. They will not do that because they know they get shut down. But with us, it's just like, you better answer me, boy. Type. So that's how I felt about this joint. But y'all ladies got anything else?
That's definitely the vibe it was given. You better answer me, boy. Like, next question. Let's move on.
Exactly. I don't know where security is at, where somebody had to shut that down, but it didn't happen, which is crazy to me. But that's the world we live in, it seems like. That's all I got. You got anything, Lero?
No, you said it all.
All right. So next thing I got here, our next number 4, we got Ye is out the Billie-club and P Diddy is in. So what we got is we recently had the news about Kanye and not being a billionaire. I guess they reduced his net worth by $400 million because of that Adidas deal, which I think they're just making up stuff at this point. But but they put Diddy in, which I thought Diddy was declared a billionaire like years ago. They might just be rehashing the story. Who knows? But let's see if there's something on here. Diddy is now officially a billionaire, and I guess it's just a post. It ain't even a article or anything beyond it. First comment, probably not true that billionaire status to be tied with business total. I think this right here hits it in the head and totals and shit. But who actually has $1 billion in their bank account? Exactly. Because Kanye lost a partnership and no longer is a billionaire, means he never had $1 billion in his bank account. This is the difference between net worth and actually having wealth, right? Actually owning something. We know they play the game with the net worth, right? Oh, we add up all your investments and your partnerships and what you may get in selling stocks and what these people value at and all that. It's a made up number. These people don't actually have what they think they have in the bank. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna throw that out to y'all. You gotta go back to this topic too. So what do y'all think about the billionaire status? And it's a coincidence that this happened right now when they doing all the Kanye. This is just part of what they're going at him against. So let me throw that out there. We should switch it up a little bit. Lyra, what you think?
I don't really see the connection with like Diddy. Like, oh, now he's not a billionaire. I thought Diddy was already a billionaire though.
That's what I thought.
That's what I was thinking.
It was like releasing that news. I guess it was just like I said. So maybe that is like just to spite Kanye or something. Because I was like, I could have swore Diddy was already a billionaire. So yeah, just weird stuff. And it goes back to like what you said about the whole like net worth and how they really like trick people into thinking they really got this coin. They really kind of, but they don't. It's just all adding up their investments and potential and what and whatnot. But what black billionaires and Diddy and billionaires means for us, unfortunate
exactly.
for Kanye, he seemed to be a little hurt by that, them taking him down off the list. The whole thing they got going on Kanye is just kind of crazy to me, but that's a listen, but yeah.
Yeah, the whole we ain't gonna get into that today, but the whole thing is weird in itself. You know what I'm saying? But you got any ideas or thoughts or connections or ride? What is it just a coincidence that they throwing him in the billionaire club or re-announcing the news right now? You think that's part of the campaign?
Well, I don't think anything is a coincidence. So I definitely think it was to take some of that light being shed on Kanye away. But again, like Diddy, along with Dre and nameless others, I could have sworn he had been in the Billionaires Club. So why is this even a topic of discussion amongst the masses right now? Because this is like, even if it is new news, it's something that was assumed already. So why do we need to know this?
And who cares? Like,
Right.
all right, Diddy got $1 billion. Let's make sure we know. And like, to me, like I said, it's just part of the ego trip. It's like, yo, we gonna mess with Ye a little bit more and go announce, because they just had a little back and forth too. which Kanye shared the, screenshots, whatever they had back and forth, which is part of what this controversy he's in right now with the little hats, right? Was his back and forth with Diddy. So I think this is just part of it. Like, oh, okay, this is our favorite Negro now. You're out the club,
right?
So to me, they just like gonna do whatever they got to do to mess with this dude to make him feel some type of way about what's going on. But yeah, I ain't gonna waste too much time on this anyway. So any parting shots with the reversal of fortunes from who's a Billy and who's not a Billy? What y'all got?
I ain't no damn Billy.
I ain't even close, but we trying, okay?
I got bills, but I ain't no Billy.
Right.
All right, so we gonna put that with the bed. And what we got next is black lady. She sues L'Oreal. Is that how you pronounce it? L'Oreal for contracting uterine cancer, uterus cancer. Is this bag chasing or actual legit concerns? What I was thinking is that they've already who doesn't know that the perm causes or hair straightening causes cancer at this point. It's like the baby powder, right? But I'm gonna throw this out to y'all first. Lero, what you got? Do you think this is a bag chasing type of dish issue, or she's trying to bring light while getting money, punishing that company for their ills?
I mean, I'm not sure her intentions per se, but definitely like it's well known that these relaxers, especially, because that's what she's doing about the relaxers she's been using in her hair over the years, are known to cause not just cancer, but fibroids, other just reproductive issues, issues with periods, known to cause like alopecia, just so many different disorders for us as women, and yet we still some of us creaming up, I used to get perms my whole life. I got my first perm at like 6 years old, and I stopped getting perms like when I was like 20 because I just was like, I'm over it. I want to be natural now. I've been natural since, and like it's been good for me. And I'm so happy I made that decision because when I went natural, I didn't know that the perms were actually and cause that. And it's funny because I actually struggled with fibroids for a little bit, and so looking back, I'm like, damn, like that could potentially have been the cause of my issues and whatnot. So, I advise, all Black women, put that creamy crack down. It's not safe.
The cracky cream. Don't use the cracky cream.
Put it down. It is not. It's so not worth it. And I'm big on like, advocating for women to wear like their natural hair, even like beyond cream cracks. Like I'm like, put down the weaves, like just put them all down. Just wear your crown. You know what I mean? Get some locks. Like me, and we can, be twins in this together. Like, okay.
Start your journey. Go get your ugly phase out the way.
Get it out the way. It's perfect, okay? Because we got some hang time now. We are in there. I'm in there right now. Stop playing.
Y'all saying my hang time.
Word is boss. So what do you think, Rye? This is a bag chasing moment here, or is she actually trying to change the narrative with the
well, I'm definitely with Lero. Lock it up, ladies. You will not regret it, I promise. But I really don't understand why, as Black women, we keep running to these companies that were founded and operated by white men and women looking to use these products for our own bodies. Like, they were not created for our bodies. And so obviously with that is going to come some sort of adverse reactions. But specifically this instance, of course, there's a bag associated with it. Like, it may not even go to an actual court. A lot of these shits they settle out of court. So she's going to get her bag regardless. But I just feel like it's something that we should already know. Like I said, as Black men and women, these companies were not created for our bodies. These products were not created for our usage. So again, lock it up, ladies. You won't regret.
Word. And whenever I see certain names, right, it's like when you have certain things that happen, you always see certain names associated with certain things, right? In this case, we got the infamous Ben Crump, right? The most famous of the famous ambulance chasers at this point. I think he's taking Johnny Cochran's spot as the Negro you call when you need that bag, right? So when you see his name on something, you already know that she's at minimum, she's probably getting a settlement out the deal. I seen the chick. She looked kind of like she, I don't even think she, mess with dudes like that. But not the pride to her, but you know, one of the things she hit on was that like it messed up her reproductive, you know, uterine cancer, you know what that does, right? But these are things, like I said, that should have been common knowledge by now. It's almost like if you put a disclaimer on something, you can't really sue it for. Like we all know, if you know smoke cigarettes at this point, you may get cancer, right? Or if you eat McDonald's every day, like these certain things that you know partake in at this point that should be common knowledge. And to me, all this company has to do to me is to slap a disclaimer on the side, and it'll be a wrap after that. So to me, I think she's trying to get a bag, but I'm not upset at her trying to bring down L'Oreal. You know, go ahead, get them if you can get them. Ben Crump is there, so I'm sure she's going to get at least a small house out the deal because it's just easier to settle, right? So we live in this area right now. It's great, but it's terrible in America because everybody's suing, and the terrible part is everybody's suing, right? So no matter what you do, somebody's going to be there ready to sue you, particularly if your pockets are deep. But I'm not shedding any tears for L'Oreal, you know. But ladies, you should know at this point, men, you should know at this point that if you mess around and chemically fry your damn scalp, some bad things might happen, you know. Like so you know, that's all I got on that. Y'all got any parting shots on that, ladies?
I just want to say, ladies, love your natural hair. Put down the creamy crack. Put down them tracks. Period. Full stop. Full stop. You should love your hair. It's a shame that in 2022, we're still having conversations and making documentaries and fucking making excuses about why we can't wear the hair that grows out of our heads. Naturally grows out of our heads. It's just, no, come on. Okay.
Exactly. Lock it up. Shout out to the forecast. We got forecast in the building. Appreciate that. And we got Oni out there in the motherland, I believe still. Peace to you, brother. All right. Next topic I got here is we have people calling for further censorship on social media platforms. Should we as Black people be advocates of free speech? I already know how we feel. Now people feel as being American, how they will feel about that subject. Even if it's something that's not necessarily, you know, conducive to us or something that's, you know, advantageous for us, should we still be staunch advocates of free speech? Or, you know, is it just kind of an overall weak look, you know, particularly with the purchasing of Twitter by Elon Musk? We got people begging, and I got a tweet that accompanies this, so let me pull that up. People can read this right here. We got Melanated Mind. Now that Elon Musk owns Twitter, let's see if our reports of racism will be taken serious or continue to be ignored. It's called a block button, sweetheart. But I'm gonna throw this out to y'all first. Start with Lero, because I think you had a little few ideas on free speech as well. I kind of liked what you was saying. You got a couple posts, so go ahead. What you got?
Yeah, I mean, for me, like, especially when it comes to online spaces now, like, because, you know, I made a tweet earlier, like, you know, I support free speech. I don't like people being censored, whether it's an opinion I agree on, disagree on. I don't believe people should just be deplatformed and taken off for saying what they want to say. You know what I mean? That doesn't mean that what you say will not have any, like, real life repercussions. But you should still be able to say what you want to say. And we're taking away people's opportunities to even say what they want to say. And I find issue with that. Full stop. You know, when it comes to things like racism and like especially like on an online space, I mean, there's literally a block button. There's literally, and one thing, you know, people were saying too, like, you know, we have to censor people because these, you know, have real life implications. I mean, somebody calling you the N-word, it's a history to that. Like, there's been a real life implication on that. And I think people are trying to like run away from the truth and run away from like the reality of a situation and kind of create a false reality by, you know, censoring other voices and whatnot. No, it's not cool to me, you know. And I even had somebody ask me a question. They were like, you know, well, how do you feel about hey, but do you feel different about censorship if, you know, these voices and these personalities that are speaking are like anonymous? Is it different then? I mean, yeah, you would prefer for like whoever's speaking to be identifiable. I mean, with the internet, it's kind of like give or take nowadays. You know, even if you're not identifiable, I can know who you are. And even if you are, you may not be who you are portraying to be. So you don't know who it is. I mean, on the internet, it gets a little tricky in that matter. But still, full stop. I don't think people should be censored for what they want to say. I think it gives us a chance to like let people be real, say what's on their chest. Maybe that'll inspire you more to draw your square. And not be wanting people to just like you want people to like lie to your face. Because I mean, like you said, these rhetorics, they have real life implications, and so like why are you trying to like run away from that real life reality? It's just wanting people to lie to you. It's like people liking the fox, people like how Malcolm compared like, the wolf and the fox. Like it's like people really like that fox though. Like, you know what I mean? I don't care if it bites you, you know what I mean? Look, it's smiling though, so it's cool, but no, it's not cool. I'd prefer people say whatever they want to say, whether it be opinions I agree with or disagree with. I don't support the censorship, full stop.
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly with your take. It's like, bro, what happened to sticks and stones? You feel me? Like, and then you're on the internet at that. Like you said, there's so many avenues I can just get you up out the paint. It's at least 50 million ways I can get you up out of here. You're not in my face saying that, and you probably wouldn't be in my face saying it because I'll smack you to sleep. So it's like, why are you so bothered about different things, different words on the internet? It's just like, just get them up out of there. Um what I like to say is I like to know. I'd rather have that you dislike me for whatever reason, rather than you be very PC about it. Rather you try to hide behind it, rather you say what you think I want to hear. To me, I think the worst thing in the world is this PC culture. Because now everybody's hiding their hands, right? You know how they feel behind closed doors. Yeah, you don't know how they feel behind closed doors, but they have a public opinion. I think that lizard Hillary said it. It's like you have to have a public opinion and a private opinion, and that's what you have these days. That's why you had the California thing with the lady getting busted calling the kid a monkey outside when she didn't know she was getting recorded, right? These are how these people really feel, but they're going to give you a certain face on the outside. To me, I'd rather have up front that you dislike me. I want that out there in the open, and I can act accordingly after that, right? Another point I'll make is that whatever you advocate, whatever powers you abdicate to others, they will eventually come back and use that on you. So when you advocate for censorship, when you advocate for safe spaces, when you advocate for these type of things, best believe it's going to be used on you eventually, right? It's going to come full circle. That's what our way it always been, my balance, right? So that's why I tell people, be very careful. Like these same people, you've seen it with these right wingers and these left wingers, right? These right wingers advocating for back in the day when old George W was in office, these Patriot Acts and things like that. Now they're using those same FBI and these same alphabet orgs and things like that to go against those same right wing people who are advocating and cheering for that. Now that the left's in control. So whenever you try to make these rules or whatever, and when you try to make these safe spaces, when you try to go against your so-called enemies by deplatforming them or censoring them or whatever, that's gonna come back on you eventually. The power always swings. And to me, it's just like a super weak look, like you begging Elon. We begging the white South African to save me, Elon. I'm reporting racism on the Twitter box. Oh my God, somebody said some bad things to me on Twitter. It's just, I'm like, man, every day y'all come on here, man, and make us look like some bitches, man. I just hate that narrative. You know what I'm saying? If you want to counter, the way you counter terrible ideas or terrible rhetoric is you present good rhetoric. You don't cry about it. You don't ask Big Daddy Elon to ban everybody who don't agree with you or whatever. You just block them, yo. It's a block button, yo. Use it.
Okay, because look, they was talking about some, how the N-word, was being used more. I was like, I don't know about y'all, but I got a little archive of slurs that I can come back with it. I ain't really too worried about that. If it's smoke, it's smoke. Okay.
Let's go to battle, yo. I liked it the old days of the internet when it was free for all. Like I can, you know what I mean? I can come back just as hard as you can come at me, bro. But right, what you think? Was this just a weak look or how you feel about censorship? First of all, let's go there.
It's definitely a weak look at asking Elon Musk to protect you from racism. It's called close your damn phone and reconnect with your fucking environment. But I don't agree with the censorship. I feel like at the core of any given person's personal opinion on something, there is someone out there on the internet that will find a way to be offended by it. So with that said, like you were saying, at what point is this censorship limited? Like anybody can be censored for anything if that's the door you want to open. So I don't believe that we should be embracing such a thing. But yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't agree with that. I wouldn't embrace censorship as the minority, as they call
Right.
this. They love to toss that word around because once the other side gets in power, guess what? You're gonna be censored, bro. You know. And we got some chatting out there. Salute to Bobby E. Right too, man. I forgot to acknowledge you earlier, brother. We got the learning curve in the building. Mr. Justin Newsom, shout out. That's one of the old homies, man. Block button is pretty strong. You damn right. I use it very, what they call it? What's the word for opposite of sparingly? Generously. So make sure y'all use that block button. I guess a bit of medicine laughing at something we said. I mean, I guess we crazy on here. But outside of that, that's all I have. I would not be an advocate of censorship at all. Once again, I believe you counter terrible ideas, you counter bad rhetoric, you counter racism, whatever it is. You counter it with good ideas, good rhetoric, good debate. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's ways to do that without advocating for somebody to sit there and hold your hands and to protect you from the bad, evil people who, saying bad words to you. It's just such a weak angle to me. But you ladies got anything else on that one?
No, that's all. Stop being a punk. Just stop being a punk. That's all I got to tell everybody.
Any more words of Snoop Doggy Dogg? Stop being a biatch.
Exercise that block button. Work it out.
Word is bud. And make sure I'm gonna advocate myself right now. We make sure y'all check out. We got a new segment of the Harsh Reality Podcast. I'm doing with Miss Rhonda Mary called Uncancel Culture, and I'm gonna play the trailer real quick, So make sure y'all check that out. Subscribe.
Banging their head into the concrete. The girlfriend is on camera repeatedly saying, "Please stop, you're hurting him." According to witnesses, this was happening for over 10 minutes. So with everything considered, they decided to drop the charges.
Right.
I think that it is very unfortunate that somebody had to lose their life like this, but based on the law, the girlfriend had every right to fear that her boyfriend's life was in danger, and she used the firearm to protect his life. People on the internet arguing with me today because you don't know any better, saying, "Oh, she should have shot a warning shot. Oh, she should have shot him in the leg." Wrong, okay? Wrong. Not only is a warning shot illegal in many jurisdictions that would
Word. And don't try to John Wick anybody, okay? But make sure y'all check out Uncancel Culture. We're gonna be doing that every other Wednesday, I believe. So there will be notices and everything about that. So let's go on to our next topic, shall we? And are we our own biggest enemy by encouraging uselessness among our youth? This came from a video. Let me pull it up real quick that I got. Kind of went viral. All right, it's up there already.
You can't tell me how.
Tell her how you was, bro. She don't believe you.
16. You got a job? This is crazy. You can't tell me how.
Tell her how you.
So yeah, she was just in the disbelief that this young-looking child, this young man had a job. Which is bananas to me. That it's such like changing oil ain't that hard. You can do that at like 9 years old. But are we our own biggest enemy by kind of like not advocating for our youth to be kind of useful in a certain extent, particularly our young men? So I'm gonna throw that out to you, Ryan, somebody raising young men. What do you think?
For starters, now we all know we age gracefully. That man about 47. She need to quit tripping. But But no, like you said, I'm over here raising two young men myself. I have these little boys around here doing chores and stuff, and the little one can't even walk yet. and he is putting clothes in the dryer. Like, we should definitely be instilling these morals and work ethic and whatnot into our children. They're the next generation. Like, this is I think it's very admirable that he's only 16 and working at Take Five. Like, that is an awesome thing to see, and he shouldn't be freaking patronized for it. And he looked like he'd been asked this question about 17
He like,
times.
again. Here they go. I'm 16, ma'am.
Yes, I'm 16. Oh, thanks. He need a check too. He want to go buy his own clothes and stuff.
Yeah, he want to buy his Jordans, whatever. He want to get
Help his
buy
mama
that
with the light bill.
PlayStation 5 or whatever. Like, you should give him a tip.
Right.
Try to put him on. You want to put him on video? Give the boy a tip.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm gonna throw out the Lero. While we our own worst enemy by being super shocked when when we have our youth out here working. What you think?
I mean, I'd have been shocked too, because he do not look 16. Like, that boy looks so young. But no, I think we should be encouraging our kids to partake in productive things, especially, he's gaining life skills right now, working, in a mechanic shop. Like, yeah, that's some life skills that will benefit him down the line potentially. We should definitely be encouraging our kids to be productive. I know there's like this talk about how, we should let our kids be kids, let them enjoy their youth. And yeah, you should, but like, there's also like work to be doing. Like, I don't know, you know what I mean? Like, and not every kid is afforded the opportunity to just be able to like sit at home and like, mom, take care of me and do this. Some kids are, put in the position to where, unfortunately, like, they got to do something. Like, if I want certain things, if I need to do certain things, I got to go out and get it, and help out what's at home. And while we may not like it, or may not want that for them, that's just the reality of the situation. And so if, a kid, a minor, is trying to, gain some beneficial skills for them and that are going to benefit themselves financially, their families, like, I'm all for it. You know what I mean? All for it.
Yeah, I feel you. What I will say too, is that it's like you can't win for losing in kind of these situations, because to me it's like, when I was growing up, the youth, when you couldn't get a job, what you did was hustled, right? Like, it's not like this young man, if he's in a situation where his family needs money, where he needs money or whatever, he's not just gonna not do anything, right? He's gonna find a way to get that money. At least now in this situation, he can have a job, even if he's not 16. He's lying about his age or whatever. But it's like, I'm not even an advocate of this whole like 16 and working. You know what I mean? Like, you can stock shelves at 14. Why you can't stock shelves? Like, you probably learn more doing that than you do in these schools, to be honest with. In 2022, the things that they are learning in these schools, go talk to any 15-year-old, tell them name 5 state capitals. You feel me? It ain't happening, right? So to me, I think you can get a better education, at least make some money in these avenues, instead of, this take that we have, like, oh, enjoy your youth. Yeah, enjoy your youth, but it's hard to enjoy youth when you're broke. Especially the age we live in right now, where the superficiality, everybody's got the newest Oculus. As somebody with kids who get these Christmas lists and stuff like that, it's all like, oh, I want this $300 toy, I want a $500 Xbox, I want this, I want that. To put somebody into a position where they can buy their own, purchase their own, get their own, right? That in itself is empowering to these children. That's itself is a lesson, a life lesson, which I think we kind of lost in the long run. I think only put up some about, adhering to other people's values. Like, we've always worked. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you talk to your grandparents that was raised in the daddy South back in the day, they was probably killing chickens at 6 years old. You know what I'm saying? This whole modern concept of, oh, you need to have, you need to not do anything till you're 16 because you got to enjoy your childhood. It's like, we a family. Everybody in the family worked and contributed if you was in the household. So I don't understand this whole modern take. To me, it's some bull. Yeah, don't put your kids in a mine at 12 years old like they was doing back in the day, 7 years old in a coal mine. But at the same time, if your kid stock shelves and do that 10 hours, 15 hours a week, gets a little money, I don't see the problem with that. And learn some skills, man. It's so many. The amount of when you're like in a dating pool with black women, the amount of women who are amazed when you can use a power drill as a black man is fucking bad, yo. It's like, oh my God, he put the TV on the wall. It's like, wow, the bar is low, bro. The bar is low,
Nah, you're gonna have to come harder than that, bro. You gonna have to come way harder than that.
Yeah, I
But
don't
it
know.
just
I do be impressed when he put the TV on. I ain't gonna lie. I'm impressed by a little handyman.
Where you right with it talking about some come high.
Cause I work the power drill, but I'm just saying. That's
Okay, I heard that.
But no, it just amazes me. Like at 16, I can remember myself being in school, working in the mall, being in J-Rotzy, playing basketball. Like I was busy. So like the astonishment at this little boy working at Take 5, there's a complete difference in hard labor and having a job. So I agree, like, nah, these kids shouldn't be doing hard labor. But like you said, D, changing oil is easy. So what's the big deal? This little boy want to get some money.
Exactly. That's exactly how I feel about it, man. And like I said, we need more life skills, man. To me, it's very eye-opening, when you get around some of these country people, man, and they kids was driving tractors at 9 years old, and then a manual transmission at 12, and our youth out here, the only thing they know how to do at 13 years old is recite little baby lines and take drugs. Like, we got to switch the narrative, and I think part of that is just changing up the usefulness, particularly of the men. Like, I hate when I hear so many women complain about the amount of useless men out here, but it's like, y'all raise these useless men, like, a lot of us raise these useless men out here, but when you see somebody who's working, you're just astonished. And I ain't saying that she took this video in reference to being trying to call him out, or that boy can't be, but it's just, to me, sad that we surprised by that. You go to any other area in the world, and somebody who looks 9 is changing the oil, you're gonna be like, yo, hurry up, bro. Like, he's smart enough to get it. Yo, hurry up, change the oil, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're not gonna be astonished by it. It's not gonna be something that's surprising. I think we need to have a higher standard, I think, for particularly of our men. You know what I mean? Like, learn how to do some shit, bro. Other than cry and drink lean. You feel me? Or try to rap or whatever the fuck you try to do. So that's all I got. Y'all got anything?
Nah.
All right, let's go on to the next one. My co-host on the pod, Miss Rhonda Mary, put up an interesting post. I thought it was about Black entertainers and leaders, and we kind of hit on it earlier too, but I like the way she kind of put it. She's put Black entertainers are like the gatekeepers and overseers here to politically and emotionally control, manipulate, and puppeteer the Black masses. Anytime a Black gatekeeper goes outside of his or her owner's will, whether it be media, politician, employer, it poses a problem for the slave master. The owner slave master will publicly lash and buck break the gatekeeper until he's subdued and forced to get back in line. This also serves as a warning to others that may step out of line. And I think we seeing that, regardless of how you feel about a lot of things, particularly in this media space, I think we can kind of see it. And it's kind of ironic too, with the Ye situation. I ain't gonna go too deep in that because, like I said, I don't necessarily agree with everything he said, but it's funny that what he called out, who he said was the gatekeepers, are actually the people who are trying to cancel the hell out of him right now, right? I put up something that I believe is like, who owns BET? If people don't know who owns BET, which is an acronym for Black with a big B, Entertainment Television, right? It used to be Viacom, I believe is like ABC or something. All these the same parent companies. They just switch every once in a while. But if you look at the CEOs of this company, you can go back in this little hat, right? Same way with the NBA, right? You go David Silver, Adam Silver, David Stern, little hat. Like, it's very ironic that we have this kind of thing. But I want to go back to the original point, which, why are we so held up on upholding entertainers, athletes, celebrities as leaders? Why are we the only community that seems to be kind of the rhetoric, right? I'll throw this out to Lero first. Is there a campaign to purposely place leaders there as entertainers and athletes as our leaders?
Outside, I asked this. I'm not saying I believe this, but I asked this: outside of entertainers and athletes, who can you say is a Black leader? A lot of people like, they shrugging their shoulders. They don't know. We don't have these leaders. And I think, the reasons why we don't have a lot of leaders outside of these entertainers, because one, celebrity culture, everybody just kind of like and it's kind of crazy to me, it seems, how obsessed, not just black folks, but particularly black folks too, when we get into more serious matters such as politics, how we're like so invested in what these celebrities are doing. We know their day-to-day lives. Like, you can't tell me. I really don't know. I don't be in a loop like that when it comes to a lot of celebrity stuff, so I can't even like relate to that mindset. But back to talking about like why we don't have leaders. I think organizations make leaders. The masses make your leaders. It's come to support your leaders. If you're not involved in nothing politically leaning, not even donating your little money to it, let alone actually donating like your time and other resources to support these leaders and whatnot. Anytime a leader comes up, like we just talked about, black men being silenced, we come and we tear down the people that are trying to be the leaders in the community, and then later saying, come and call them our martyrs and everything after they've been killed and whatnot, and tarnished and have their careers ruined and everything. It's we don't really know what leadership is for real, because we haven't really been organized that much, and especially in like the recent decades, especially in regards to politics, because like you said, you got Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders sitting down with Cardi B, and they're like, I ain't even gonna get into questioning her blackness, but but okay,
Nunca.
but like for real, like that's who coming and representing you. You know what I mean? Especially as women too. Like that's what you could pick from black women to come and talk about our political situation, something that impacts our lives. Like, you know what I mean? Like our literal livelihood is a celebrity. Like, we listening to their music, and whatnot. Like, come on now. Even if it's gonna be an artist, I feel like you could pick better artists, but like it's at least like damn. But like I said, when it comes down to getting solid black leaders, we need solid black organizations to support and defend these leaders, so that way when the narrative comes and they're being attacked, whether it be by outsiders or within the own community, we have the defense to stand them up. Like, no, they're backed by these people and these resources and this money and this, you know what I mean? You can't tear down our leaders like that. And that's the important thing. Black people got to get organized and got to start taking their politics seriously themselves before you looking for some celebrity to come and do that for you. Yeah, so that's all I can really say.
Yeah, that's kind of the stronghold that media has on us, right? That our leaders aren't they don't rise up out the ashes, right? Our leaders are chosen, particularly if they're celebrity class, right? We all know 50 million talented people in terms musically, right? In terms of, acting, in terms of that, people who just can't even break into the industry. And it ain't because they don't lack talent or work ethic or whatever. It's because a lot of these people are chosen. And you got to ask yourself, when you look at these celebrities, why are these certain people chosen? Those certain people are chosen because they've proven they'll do whatever. Right? They're not that casting couch was a real thing, right? That wasn't just some pervert stuff. That's also seeing how far you will go. If you talk to a lot of these people, I know people who got family that's been in the music industry for years, and they tell you when Cat Williams did that comedy special back in the day, and he talked about the mansion parties. That's a real phenomenon. That wasn't like him capping or whatever. They were literally, before you blow up, we're going to take you to this place and we're going to see how you get down. That way we know that you're, cool to put in this position. Not only that, we also have something on you, right? So, we got this on you on top of that. So when you have these people who are already compromised, they're only going to go a certain extent, right? They're not going to step too much outside of the boundaries of what's acceptable by their handlers, or what's been deemed acceptable by the handlers. That's why it's such a terrible, terrible, terrible idea to have people whose entire livelihood is not only dependent upon whether they're in the know, right? Whether they're in the top of the pop culture charts, but also depending on if their handlers are not mad at them, because they can make you disappear in a day. All your social medias, all your record deals, everything, just pull it out. You know what I mean? You'll be in there singing songs with R. Kelly in the penitentiary, right? As soon as they deem they don't like you. So you got to realize that, and that's why it's so detrimental, I think, to have leaders as celebrities as your leaders, or have those people deemed as your leaders. Ryan, what you think about this whole narrative about celebrities being leaders? Why is it only in the Black community? And your overall thoughts on the whole situation.
Well, for starters, I've been over here going through it, so I did not get an opportunity to see your interview with her, but I just wanted to say, I saw the clip that you pulled up not too long ago. Rhonda Mary looked absolutely stunning in that clip. She did. I just wanted to make it a point to say that. But
I was going to message y'all. We'll let Rhonda, she good.
What'd you say?
We'll let Rhonda know she looks good. All right, Rhonda.
Pause. But no, as far as us having Black leaders, like Lyra said, like we don't have any. And the ones that may be up and coming, we don't support them. We do have all these artists and celebrities and whatnot that we see on a consistent basis through the media. And I don't know, me personally, when I think Black leaders, I think like Reverend Al Sharpton or like Jesse Jackson. But I can only imagine how many people much younger than myself don't even know who those two individuals are. And yet they can quote and recite every, like you said, every Lil Baby lyric, every Cardi B lyric, because these are the people shoved down our throats on a consistent basis. But
those cats were chosen to agents and snitches, bro. They agents and snitches.
Definitely. But yeah, we definitely have to do better as a community to seek out these actual positive leaders and then support them from there, so they can get that same recognition that all these celebrities are getting.
Yeah, I think you don't really have the grassroots leaders that you used to have, right? Or people that was just at the protest or at different places or at different in different neighborhoods where people are trying to make moves, right? They don't highlight those peoples no more. They always just highlight, like you said, I think Lero hit it on the Cardi B's, interviewing the presidents, which is in itself is problematic. They don't highlight these people who are actually putting in work. And you wouldn't even hear their names, which is crazy. Also, I think you have different. I hate to kind of lump us all into the same category where it's like, okay, you Black, so this has to be your leader. We all know and we can see it obviously that there are different Black people with different ideas, different goals, different organizations they believe in, different ideologies they adhere to, right? So you can't just have a one size fits all leader. I think you have your own leaders within these different communities. Whether if you're Pan-African, you may have different people you look to leader. If you're a, FBA, you may have whoever grifter they got over there, whatever, right? So to be within these different factions, within different ideology, even if you're like a Black Republican, you might have different, or you're a Black Democrat, whatever you want to call yourself. Sometimes people adhere to these things over the fact that they're Black, right? They may adhere to this tribe over that. So you gotta be careful. All they would say, all skin folk ain't kin folk, bro. That's what I got on there. Y'all got anything about that?
Nah.
All right. So let's get on to our last topic. I think we beat that horse, which I'm not even sure I want to dive into this, but whatever. We got Mr. Blueface, who hasn't had a hit since probably 2016, and Chrisean, and they go live. She went live after this supposed beating, and then she later kind of recanted what she originally said. And it's interesting that this is kind of being ignored as opposed to like the media storm we had when like for instance Rihanna and Chris Brown, although they were at the top of their game at that point, so it's a little bit different. But it seems like it's kind of interesting that we're not hearing anything about this situation as opposed to a lot of different situations we've had since then. And is this possibly a tragedy in the making? So let me pull up the first video here.
Dick with him, nobody cares. I do. All you gonna do is suck dick with him, nobody cares. You a bitch. You punched me in my mouth. What are you talking about? Punch me in my eye.
You's a bitch. So what? If I want to get away from you, let me get away from you. Don't pull me away. Don't pull me closer so you can hit me in my mouth. You sound dumb. You should have let me jump down. No, you on some weirdo shit. You bust my lip.
So we got her there saying that Blueface busted a lip and all this other stuff. I think she later showed pictures and stuff like that. But then later on today, I believe.
Right, fine. No filter, no makeup. I had a bad trip yesterday. It's a Casamigo. Trying to jump out of a fucking moving car on the highway. Blue tried to keep me from jumping out the car. I fought that nigga, like, trying to get the fuck up out the car. Everybody fine.
Why she sound like she smoke a pack of fucking Marlboro Reds every day? Like, I really don't get that. But it's funny that we seeing this whole thing play out in the media between these two, celebrities, C-list rappers, I think at this point, with this domestic kind of situation. This is the first video, like a month ago, they had a video, they're fighting in some club. This is just this ongoing saga that we're seeing play out, and we know how big media is, particularly with this new feminism movement, but you're not seeing any kind of feminist cap for Chrisean. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Mino. So I'm gonna throw that out to y'all. Actually, switch it up, yo. Right. What do you think about this situation? I know you're a bit pop culture more in the mix. Why is there more outcry about this, and why isn't like anybody or in feminism or women kind of capping for Chrisean and trying to fix the situation?
I think there isn't more outcry about it because it's already been identified through their dynamic that they both enjoy the toxicity of their relationship. And like this second video she released is given, oh, he didn't punch me. I threw my head into his face. I mean, I threw my face into his face. Like, it's just, she'll cry and then she'll come back and retort her cries with some made up story explaining why she was lying earlier or why it wasn't what it seemed. And it's very hard to jump into that and try to change the situation for someone. Like someone in that situation has to decide on their own that they no longer see any purpose of that situation in their life. So I feel like that's part of it. Another part, it's just a more broad way of encouraging this sort of behavior within our community. Like we already know that the nuclear family is under attack, and what better way to promote that than, oh, this is the kind of relationship you need to be in. This is the kind of relationship that we're going to glorify online. Throw it in your face every day. It's like every other day you see Blueface and Chrisean. It's very disheartening, but it's also sickening.
I agree. You don't really see the positive stories of Black love in particular. You just see these two, being the face. And keep in mind too, I want to say these people are very young too, in their early 20s, and we all know how people get down in their early 20s. It's gonna kind of segue into something else I kind of want to talk on, but I'm gonna leave that a little bit later to after we get everybody's opinion on it. So I'm gonna throw it out to Liro. What do you think about this dynamic? Why aren't more people speaking up, or is this just like Ross said, this is just kind of their dynamic of their relationship?
Yeah, like basically what Ross said, like it's already been identified that they're both toxic. You got videos of her attacking him, attacking her, like it's just kind of always in the media. And aren't they like now like about to get a show together about their
Yeah, that might
relationship?
be part of
So
it. That's a good one. Yeah.
exactly. So this could be a whole like publicity stunt and whatnot too. It's just very very like toxic, and just it's kind of weird, like again too, how some people are like so like invested in their like relationship, but it's it's just kind of madness to me, real madness.
Madness, and that kind of want to segue into, I kind of hit on earlier these people's age, right? Not foregoing the whole music industry, right? And the reality show and all this, just them being crazy in general. To me, you know, when you think about people at that age bracket between maybe 18 and 25-ish, right? There is like no handbook. It's nobody really giving you advice or anything like that. I don't know about y'all. I never really got advice on how to pick a woman, who to look for, you know, what to avoid. They tell you in general. They'll tell you general stuff, you know, avoid crazy people, don't date nobody broke, you know, that type of stuff. But you don't really get any kind of feedback as to, you know, who may compliment you, what you need to look for, maybe the red flags, you know, which I do know some families that, you know, they had a lot of families that maybe had some women I dated had older brothers who maybe, you know, hit them on a little game or something like that. But I've never in general seen like a bunch of people like say like, oh, my mom said I need this, my dad, you know, he hit me to this game or whatever, right? It's always just like they expect you at 19, 20, 21, 22 to go to the club and find your soulmate, right? Bring home a good bed, right? There's no vetting. To me, and then it was a very interesting rhetoric I seen earlier about bringing back arranged marriages, particularly in the Black community, where we know that it's a lot harder to vet through these people, and it's a lot harder, you know, just take the things we have to deal with, you know, between the mass incarceration, you know, murder being one of the crazy things Black men particularly have to deal with, being killed at a higher rate and things like that. Should arranged marriages be a thing that we actually consider in the future? So I'm throwing it out to you ladies, you know what I'm saying? Let's start with you, Lero. What you think?
Yeah, I definitely support the endeavor. I mean, you know, growing up like in the kind of like setting I was raising, I'm from like Southern Illinois. It was kind of rural Illinois. So like right outside of St. Louis, we got that urban life and then also kind of like that rural aspect. And like there were like some like arranged marriages. Now we didn't really call it that, but like looking back on it, it's like okay, like they were kind of like put together, like, you know, through the family and like through the, you know, broader community and whatnot. All under the guise of the church though, still too. But yeah, I definitely support the endeavor for sure. Like absolutely. I mean, I think I don't think like people who choose like not to go that route or like want to go out and choose people to vet. I don't think you like are setting yourself up like for failure. I mean, it's tough. You know, it's cold outside, but you know,
You don't know what the hell you do, bro. When I look back on that somebody, you know, I ain't gonna reveal my whole entire age, bro. But you know, as somebody, you know, getting close to the big 4-0, you feel me? Like when you think about you 23, 22, you don't know what the hell you're doing. And then when you throw sex into the mix, yo, I think that kind of complicates things bigger than what people realize, yo. You know what I'm saying?
definitely.
One, you know, it's particularly me,
Absolutely.
you know. So when you don't know what you're doing and you couple that with the big responsibility of having sex and you that lust that comes with that, I think you're just setting people up for failure, yo, because you're gonna end up being, and then we all know, y'all ladies, yo. Y'all ladies know the people who are slanging and the best, you know what I mean, is gonna be the people who probably the worst for you. You feel me?
Facts, facts, facts.
You know what I mean? So it's like you're being set up for failure, particularly I think with the women. You know, I think they're greatly being set up. You know, and I'm gonna throw this out to Rye. You know what I'm saying? Would you be an advocate of arranged marriage or something that would you advocate for your family?
I would definitely be an advocate for arranged marriage, simply off the basis that the things that people currently are marrying for are such temporary emotions and feelings and circumstances that those marriages don't end up lasting for very long. Whereas you marrying someone based off of an arrangement or a business deal of sorts, it's more like I feel like it's easier to develop a love for a person than to go into a marriage simply because I love someone, just to wake up years down the line realizing that we have nothing in common. Like our life paths are not going in the same direction. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
yeah, I definitely would be an advocate of that.
Yeah, I
Yes.
think marrying for love is kind of one of the most stupidest things you could do. Like, you know what I
Facts.
mean? It's like I already love me. Like we don't really, you know, it's no. Like I don't know. And I say this as someone that's like never been married, but still not love.
Right, same here.
Okay, come on now.
Is that it's so fleeting, and it's something I actually that can grow to. It's like I said, it's not something that just comes overnight. You know what I mean? Love is something that grows with a person. And if you already, let's say your parents, whoever responsible, the elders in your family, set you up with somebody who comes from a good family. He's hardworking. He's somebody who he's gonna take care of his family. This whole family unit, right? And this person is a good person at the end of the day. That love eventually is going to grow. You know what I'm saying? It may not be from the jump. I think we got this whole notebook culture, the society was like, oh, I saw butterflies when I saw it. I bet you did. You know what I mean? That's because you wanted to get your hump on. It had nothing to do with the damn, you know what I'm saying? That love at first sight, that's what it is. Love at first sight it's going to be purely 100% looks based. It's not going to be nothing off what they do. And it's stupid. I agree with Lil wholeheartedly as somebody who's been through it. Like, you have to have somebody who's in your corner who's going to advocate and pick somebody who's from a good family. But I will say that sometimes your parents, we're such in a bind at this point. We're probably 3-4 generations deep into degeneracy, right? So it's like your parents probably chose a shitty person and they don't even know how to pick a good person, but they may know a little bit more than you. So I don't know what the solution is, but I would be an advocate of arranged marriages. It just got to be maybe a council of your elders, maybe the most responsible elders in your family or whatever. At least at minimum vet this person, at least go back to the days where somebody has to ask somebody, can they marry you? Now it's just like, yo, let's go to Vegas and you know what I mean? Let's go to Vegas and get drunk and you can get married or some shit. Let's go to the courthouse with our fucking polos on and shit, So that's what I got on that. That's all I got. Y'all got anything else?
No.
Nah.
All right, well, I think that's the last topic of the day, so let's go ahead and get ready to wrap it up. So if you guys got anything y'all want to promote, any projects y'all working on, I don't know what you got going on, but this is the time to do it, so I'm going to toss it out there to you first. Let's go to our Director of Media Relations, Ryan. What you got going on in life?
Too much, child. Way too much, but nothing that I want to put on the internet, so...
That's what's up. I'm glad you showed up to work this week.
Too. Feels good to not be ostracized.
Yeah, I don't have to talk shit about you. I don't have to talk about the immense amount of money that you owe from not showing up every week and the thirst trapping you do all on the internet. But it's beautiful when you come to work, ain't it?
Ain't it?
I appreciate you, right? Hotep, what's going on? I had to change your name in here because you got you a title now. You got you a first name, last name now. Lero,
yes. Queen of the Hoteps, period. I'm just out here trying to be my best African self and trying to, curb the mental side in the Black community, period. But if you're looking for an organizational home, don't hesitate to get at me. I got some folks doing some good works, whatnot. I got some information for you. So, hit me on Twitter. If you got my email, you can hit me email. I'll be on Discord. Just hit my line. But that's all I really got for now. Yeah.
I appreciate you coming through. Lowe's building up his fine. L's building up his fines this week. It's all good.
Hold up. I'm gonna need you to recant that statement about my daggone thirst traps. You got bitter mad in the comments.
You haven't thirst trapped this week. I haven't seen the thirst trap in a couple weeks, but you were thirst trapping though. Let's keep it real.
Not.
You was.
Don't let them hate on you, Ride. Pop your ish. If you're popping, you're popping.
Thank you, Lero. Thank you.
It was thirst trap. I wasn't mad at thirst traps, I wasn't mad. It was a great sight, but
I was going through some things, okay?
It be like that.
But that's all I got. Make sure y'all check out. I think it might be this week, man. We got the Uncancelled Culture episode coming up on the 2nd, which is this week. I'm doing an interview probably Thursday. I don't have time for all this crap I'm trying to do, but I'm gonna do it. I'm trying to delegate some of this to y'all, man. Y'all need to work more, man. Like, can I delegate some stuff to y'all, please? Like, would y'all mind if I delegate?
I'm retired. I
You
just
ain't
wanted to say that.
fucking retarded.
I retired from the delegations.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Lero, what you got going on? You want to delegate some? You need some?
You need to do a little something. I hardly sleep these days, but a little something. You know what I mean? I can do a little something.
You all I got, yo. CMB, we all we got. But that's all we got. I appreciate everybody in the chat for coming through, man. Oni, shout out to you. Bit of Meds. Bobby Wright was in there. The forecast was in there. Justin Newsom, shout out to you, brother. You know, we gotta catch up too, man. Everybody showed up, the matron. Everybody from KWAZ. So I appreciate everybody who came through in the chat. Make sure y'all check us out Wednesday, I believe. I'll be sending the post out though. Should be another episode on cancel culture. So that's all I got. On behalf of everybody here at the Harsh Reality Podcast, I got to say thank you for coming through. Much love to my panel. Love you guys, and peace.
Bye,
Peace
y'all.
and love.
Greetings, everyone. This is Koku from the Bitter Medicine Podcast, inviting you to tune in to the Bitter Medicine Podcast on KWAZ Radio.
Peace, family. This is Oni, inviting you to listen to the pro-black perspective, where black problems are addressed with black solutions.
Greetings, fam. Tune in to The Learning Curve with me, the revolutionary matron on KWAZ Radio.